Hey there, happy Friday to you. Today I want to share with you just some thoughts that I have and maybe some tips and suggestions on how doctors and medical practice owners can deal with the incredible levels of uncertainty and overwhelm that you probably feel in your practice every day. So, over the last few weeks, I've been talking with several of our clients that we work with all over and really just trying to dig in with them. How can I add more value? So the whole point of this Holy Buckets series is really to give you, the medical practice owner, some real, genuine, actionable strategies and tips and advice, mostly in the areas of marketing. So we have these four marketing buckets that we talk about from time to time. But today's going to be a little bit different because as I'm talking with our clients, our friends who own the practices, trying to dig into, what is it that we can do to add value and what kind of holds these medical practice owners back from really growing and scaling their practices, at least those who want to grow and scale. And as we start digging in deeper and deeper, we came up with really two major roadblocks that seem to be holding you back. And the first one is uncertainty. And the uncertainty kind of comes into play in a couple of different areas. First is the uncertainty of how to grow your practice in general. That you're just trying to figure out what's the best strategy for me. Do I need to take on staff first? Do I need to expand service lines? Do I need to do the marketing and generate the leads first and then see how we can grow from there? So that's part of what this whole series is about, is hopefully we'll answer some of those questions as we go along. But then there's another level of uncertainty of who the heck can I trust to help me get there, to go to that next level. And in many cases, that ends up being your wife's cousin or somebody who says, oh, I know how to do Facebook ads, I can handle that for you. And as you grow and scale, certainly as you approach the seven-figure mark, almost everyone is going to have a professional agency of some sort doing that marketing for them because you need reliability and scalability in those campaigns. And you just have to have experience to be able to do most of that. But I'll tell you kind of the dirty little inside secret of the marketing business is there's a million of these marketing gurus out there that teach new people coming into marketing how to do marketing. And so the target that they always use as the examples and these scripts, I call them shiny objects, all these different techniques and the emails that you're bombarded with every day. Everybody is taught how to go after chiropractors and dentists and other kinds of medical practices. That's how all the examples are made. And so every newbie just coming into the business is taught to go after particularly chiropractors, but doctors and dentists equally. And so you're just getting hammered with all these junk messages in your inbox every single day. And that's overwhelming to begin with, but it leads to a lot of uncertainty because inevitably you have likely tried at least one or two of those shiny objects that promised, to double your business in the next 2 weeks, and you probably got burned because it really didn't work. And so when you do that a few times and it doesn't work a few times, you tend to become jaded. And now you're like, that's all kind of junk. I don't even know who I can trust out there to do that. So you've got that level of uncertainty as well. What strategy do I use? Which of these emails do I listen to? I've got friends telling me you should try so and so. Do I trust that? Which is probably better than trusting your emails. But the other piece is this sense of overwhelm. I mean, everybody is incredibly busy, particularly as a business owner. If you own your practice, and that's who I'm hopefully talking to, then you're already overwhelmed. You have all of the administrative side of paying the bills, making sure staff gets paid. You've got your regulatory and compliance and the paperwork. You've got staff who need to be hired and trained. You have to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then on top of all that, you have to figure out how to grow your practice while also being the primary, probably, care provider in your practice. You have to treat and help your patients, which is really what you wanted your job to be. And so that's very overwhelming. And you add on to that now, how do I grow? How do I scale up? How do I add staff? How do I add salespeople to the mix? It's very overwhelming, and I totally get that. So you've got this double whammy of uncertainty of who do I choose, and overwhelm of I don't even have the time to figure all that out. As a result, most providers will stay stuck in that position. Now, that in and of itself is a competitive advantage for you. All that means is that if you're willing to take that one extra step, to go the extra mile, to put in the extra hour of effort, that you're going to win. As Babe Ruth had a very famous quote, I keep it actually on my desk, you just can't beat the guy who never gives up. And so that would be my thought number one I want to share with you is just don't give up. Don't give up on the idea of growing and building and becoming more if that's your goal for your practice. But the second thing is really all around planning. And do you have or have you created this vision of where you want your practice to be in the next 1 to 3 years? I was reading a great book. I'd certainly recommend it to you. Cameron Herold. It's all about vivid vision. So this is an alternative to actually doing a mission statement. Not that you shouldn't have a mission statement, but mission statements tend to be kind of bland. We're going to change the world by making it a happier and healthier place. It doesn't really tell people where you're going to go or what your real goals are for your practice. And so this vivid vision is all about really getting very specific. It's just a page or so that you write out and you think through, spend some time. The value in this is actually the time spent thinking about what will my practice look like 3 years from now? What will I be doing each day 3 years from now? What staff will I have in place at that point? What lines of service will we be offering at that point? What will our revenues look like at that point? And if you just simply go through the act of thinking about those things and particularly writing them out on a piece of paper, and then share that with your team, with your staff, and say, this is my vision for where our practice should be in 3 years from now. The very act of doing that alone kind of opens this magical door and makes things happen that otherwise wouldn't. I mean, how many times your entire life you've been told planning is the key to everything? He who fails to plan plans to fail. All those catchy phrases, but it's all the same thing. Having a plan, having an idea of where you want your practice to be is the number one thing that will begin moving you down that path. The final thought I would share with you is regarding to who to listen to. So we did this early in our agency growth, and it helped us phenomenally. We've grown 300% in the last 2 years back to back by finding the people, the experts in your field who are where you want to be, who have achieved what your goals are, who have accomplished what you're trying to accomplish, and look and see what they do. Follow in their footsteps. Get them as coaches or trainers or learn from them in whatever way you can. There's so many fake gurus out there in this industry just as much as there are in any industry. You have to kind of be careful who you listen to. And really, ultimately, that's the goal that we set for this whole Buckets series, the Facebook Lives, podcast, YouTube, is really we've been blessed for the last couple of years to work with some very successful practices all around the country. So we have this front row seat to see what are they doing, how do they arrange their staff, how do they compensate, what salespeople, how do they do the things they do. And so my whole goal for this series for you is for simply to relay as much of that as we can. So hopefully you can make some notes and think about, this is what the other players have done that have made it to where I want to go. Maybe I should consider doing some of those same things. So I'll leave that with you for today. Just wanted to share those thoughts. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling uncertain about what to do, what steps to take, where to go, just know that you're not alone. It doesn't necessarily get easier or just magically go away. Once you reach, the 7 or 8 figure mark, you're just going to change the things that you're uncertain about and feeling overwhelmed about. Stick with it. Look for the people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish and try to follow in those footsteps. As always, if you know someone who you think would appreciate this kind of information, I'd really appreciate it if you would share this video with them. I'm going to put my information up on the bottom of the screen. If by chance you'd like to talk with me personally about your goals, your vision, how you're going to move your practice forward, I'd love to talk to you. Just reach out to me here at the information at the website you see below on the screen, and I'll be happy to set up a call with you. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.